Hello, new and faithful listeners, and welcome to Remainders, the podcast dedicated to exploring the wonder and joy that is the movies, the old, the new, the remembered, and the ones that are sometimes forgotten. As we record this episode, it is September 17th, 2025. Yesterday, the world lost one of the greatest to ever do it. Robert Redford passed on, and I'd just like to take a minute and say thank you to the man for all the joy we've experienced through his work. I'm a very big fan of his acting, especially in favorites like The Sting and Gatsby, but it always struck me how much I enjoyed the films he directed, filled with heart and exceptional stories of perseverance and pain, and films that showcase a simpler American way of life. Films like The Legend of Bagger Vance and A River Runs Through It come to mind. So thank you, Robert Redford, and good night. Now on to today's episode. Patrick and I are cracking a few tall boys with the Schnapster in hand while we blaze up some bunk skank weed and talk about a film that is sure to raise more than a few politically correct flags over 20 years later. Welcome to 1994's The Stoned Age. This is the story of a rock and roll beefcake and his stoner burnout buddy who drive around looking for a party in California. But hey, it can't be just any party. It's got to be a party with hot chicks. Hubs and Joe are our guides through the streets of Torrance as they cruise the streets and eventually land at a house next to Frankie Avalon's childhood home, where two Northern California babes are hiding out. Hubs and Joe win over the girls with 151 liquor they steal at the liquor store, and thus begins their journey to try and score before their friends in town find the house and try to score the chicks too. So that's it. That's the movie. One lane. Finding choice chicks with a kind ratio and partying with them all night long. No surprise that teenage Darren was obsessed with this film, maybe because it was out of print for many, many years and you couldn't find it anywhere. I would try and order it from the computer at Suncoast weekly when we worked at the movie store. I finally did get my DVD, and I haven't seen this film probably since, for like 15 years or more. It definitely hits different now, and I'm happy to be here to talk about it with my co-host and friend Patrick McIntyre. Pat, dying to hear what you have to say about this 90s joint.
I will just say Hubs and Joe sounds like a cheesy cover band you would hear playing in the Chicago suburbs just on a random night. It just seems appropriate. Just had that thought while we was going.
I mean, it could be a great buddy comedy too. Could be a great buddy comedy duo in a movie. We'll see. Do you think it was?
Yeah, I just had that thought from the description. Yeah, this was a surprising pick. I had never seen this movie. I had barely even heard of this movie. I feel like I feel like I knew it existed. Like when I saw the cover, I'm looking at it right now. It looks familiar, but yeah, this was not one that was on my radar at all. And man, what a quintessential 90s teen sex comedy, I guess. Borderline teen, but like it has all the cornerstones that you would expect. And yeah, surprising pick from you. I'm excited to hear the nostalgia aspect of it for this one for you. When was the first time you watched this?
Yeah, so this is in that conglomerate. I've talked about it before. Like my friend Jack and I used to watch, like we would have sleepovers, when we were like at the age where we were like finally able to like drink. And yeah, we were in high school. We were on the hockey team together. So it was like, we were just like have sleepovers. One of the best
movie experiences ever of those early ones.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know what I mean? And it's like, we were finally able to drink. I remember Goldschlager was like it was probably like the Schnapster back then, and like, we would just kind of get drunk and watch these like movies. So one of them was Mosquito. One of them was this one, and one of them was Killer Clowns, and we just like had the best time watching these like totally campy, and they must have been on like HBO or something back then that was like not available in my household. So I was just so pumped to see movies like this, and yeah, I was at the age where I'm like, oh my god, a movie where they just like get fucked up all the time and talk about chicks, like this is great. And it became this kind of thing in my mind that lived there, and then I guess like you'd say, when I got to Suncoast and we were working there, it was like, is this on DVD anywhere? I want to own this movie because it just always seared in my brain about how much fun I had watching it with my friend. And lo and behold, it was like, it existed. It was like kind of like this unicorn out there. Like this DVD existed, but like you could never get it. It was like constantly out of print or back ordered. Like that was a thing. You'd go into the computer and you try to order it and it'd be back ordered. And for me, it was just devastating because I just wanted this all the time. And then when I finally got it, it was kind of anticlimactic. I'm like, okay, cool, I got it. And then like threw it in the pile of other DVDs, But like it still stayed in my mind all these years later. And I'm an older man now, and I'm watching this film thinking like, holy shit, I love this movie. Like, I mean, it's great, but it's kind of weird to think of me back then being like, I got to own this DVD. I love it. All these things.
It's got the party atmosphere. You're watching Rock and Roll High School and Stone Age back to back. I mean, it's a nice combination together. So
I thought Rock and Roll High School big time, and then I also thought kind of like Wayne's World. What other party movies like Dazed and Confused? It kind of clumps in there. Like I wouldn't say it's as good as those films, but it's like clumped in there.
Funny you say that. I'm looking at the poster right now, and at the very top of the poster, a review from Chris Williamson. Better than Dazed and Confused.
Whoa, that's what it says?
High praise.
That is high praise. Holy shit. That's what I mean.
Watching this movie, I was repeatedly thinking discount store Dazed and Confused. That's what consistently was coming up in my mind. The hangout vibe of a movie with not nearly as much depth as Dazed and Confused. So if that's what you're looking for, with a pure 90s vibe. Now, there's a lot to get into with the 90s vibes here, but yeah, it's on that level. Everything cliche about a 90s hangout teen sex comedy. Are they teens? I couldn't tell. Are they in? I mean,
that's the thing. They look older, don't they? They look like especially that beefcake dude Hubs, he looks like he could be like the lead singer of Typo Negative or something like that.
True, but like the cornerstone of 90s was casting 26-year-olds as 16-year-olds.
High schools. Yeah.
So
totally. I like what you're saying about the movie. Like if you're looking for any kind of depth, it's not in here. Like it's devoid of depth.
Halfway through it, I was like almost like enamored with it because of how surface.
You love that level. Shit.
Just in terms of how there's nothing more than them trying to have sex in this movie, and so it's delivering exactly what it's promising without delivering any type of pretentious message about anything else. So
that's what I mean at the beginning when I said one lane. Like they pretty much set it up in the beginning. They're like basically like these guys are on a ride to party, with chicks. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, it had so many aspects of 90s movies that I've seen and loved. And you could tell, I mean, not to go back to Dazed and Confused, but it almost had kind of like a Mike Judge. I almost felt like it was if Dazed and Confused was directed by Mike Judge of Beavis and Butthead fame. It has just that perfect stupid stoner vibe. Everybody sounds like Bill, Ted, or a combination of Bill and Ted.
Yeah, it's got Bill and Ted in there too. Yeah, that's the thing is like it's got all of these great kind of, like I said, Wayne's World, even like these kind of like goofy kind of made up characters.
This is 94, so everything we just mentioned had already happened. So that's definitely intentional. Them just kind of riffing on all those characters, capitalizing them, ripping them off, however you want to view it. So
I mean, we're also talking about this film being like, I'm sure I haven't looked into it, but I'm sure like the theatrical release couldn't have been very, wide. And we're talking about 1994, a year when Speed, right? Do we have Jurassic Park in there? Like this is 90s like domination time.
Yeah. Yep. But I do have to ask, and I still genuinely don't know the answer. Is this movie set in the 90s or set in the 70s?
Good point. I don't know. I mean, you would think 70s because of the way they look.
Yeah, I mean, I read it so many different ways. Like it looks like, I mean, everybody sounds and talks like the 90s. They look like the 70s. But it is kind of a rural area, so it almost kind of like it reminded me of like a Napoleon Dynamite vibe, where it's like it's set in current day, but it's like such a dated community that they're just 15 years behind.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, they talk about places in California that now like did this. Darren knows because I live here, like Torrance and stuff like that. Like, and if you are a fan of Boogie Nights, you'll remember that because it's Eddie Adams from Torrance. That's before he became Dirk Diggler. That's what. Burt Reynolds says. He's like, oh, you're Eddie Adams from Torrance. So Torrance is kind of like a place here that like I've never been to, but I think it has that exact vibe that you were saying. It's kind of like a little bit of like an older looking town.
Is that a facha or is that a face?
Is that a facha or is that a facha? Rest in peace, Burt Reynolds. What a great line.
That is a face. Quick tangent. My God, I am so excited for One Battle After Another.
Oh my God, dude. I know.
We'll report back after this episode when we finally see it, but man.
It's going to be playing at the Vista in Vista Vision, one of only 3 theaters in the world to play it.
Woo!
In Vista Vision. So yeah, I'm really, really pumped about that and can't wait. There's a huge billboard right above the Vista that's like across the street on Sunset, and it looks just fucking awesome,
I mean, I've avoided kind of looking at too many details. I've heard everybody loves it, but I'm just most intrigued by the idea that this is going to be his more mainstream picture. And so just to see what PTA does with a more mainstream vibe than ever before.
Please, no more licorice pizzas or Inherent Vices, please. Thank you.
I'll definitely defend Inherent Vice. I still have to watch Licorice Pizza a second time. But I do feel like this is a reaction to those 2 movies, if it is more mainstream as it sounds like this. So, but who knows? I haven't seen it yet. Very excited. So. I think one of the funnest parts of watching this movie was just how many actors in bit parts in other 90 movies I recognized.
Well, like Jake Busey?
Well, Jake Busey I definitely recognized, but almost everybody, like all the leads were like people who I knew their faces, and I waited until the end of the movie and I just looked them up and realized that they were just in other 90s movies that I had seen plenty of times before. Let's start with Joe and Hubs. Michael Capello was Joe, the stringly redhead, right? Yes.
Yeah, I thought maybe he's the one who directed it. Am I wrong about that?
You are wrong about that.
Okay.
I didn't mean to say that like a dick, but you just
no. That's go ahead. Yeah. I'm wrong.
But Capello, I recognized his face because of Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. He's one of the stoner friends.
Well, of course he is. Yeah.
And it looks like he also shows up in Point Break. I can't picture him right now.
Yeah, and I saw that too when I was looking this up, and I was like, got to be like one of the beach guys that was like with Kiedis or something, right? But I mean, all those guys were like super jacked, Oh no, you know who he is? When he goes and he's like, hey, you got a big bug in your hair, and he's trying to get hair samples to find out who the ex-presidents are, and he smashes the guy's head. He's like, man, I got it. He's like, of course, he's like a stoner. They're smoking weed underneath the blanket.
Oh my God, incredible.
Yeah.
I was at a cafe the other day and they just had Point Blank playing in the background. It's like, this is my
sounds like the best cafe in the world.
This is my kind of coffee shop.
Yeah.
All right. So we got that. Hubs, Bradford Tatum. You're right. He did look like possibly the singer of Type O Negative. I recognize, I had to look it up. He is in the pretty forgettable comedy Down Periscope starring Kelsey Grammer that I watched a lot on HBO as a kid. And he's got a kind of a big part in that movie, but I shouldn't say forgettable. I looked up the cast. It's a pretty fun 90s character actor cast. So
yeah,
I can't speak for it as an adult too much, but I remember liking it as a kid. So, all right, we got China Katner. She plays Jill, which is the kind of the throwaway girl in this movie that ends up having a nice moment with Joe. She was an MTV VJ, and I recognize her face from that.
No shit.
Yeah, because she was daughter of Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship members, Paul Cantor and Grace Slick, for whatever it's worth. And she ended up being a MTV VJ. So for young people listening, MTV used to play music and they had video jockeys. So where people would introduce songs and you listen to it. It was a wild time. As a kid discovering alternative music. That was
back when you could make a music video for just under $100,000.
Beautiful. I was just thinking how much of a lost art form music videos are.
Some people still embrace it, but it's usually just a bigger artist.
Mainstream, I should say.
Yeah.
And we've talked about in here the amount of directors that I love that we love, who got their start directing music videos. Just
totally.
It's always going back to that. Clifton Gonzalez, whose name I wrote down because it's such a ridiculous name. Turns out that was Clifton Collins Jr., who's probably the most recognizable actor in this whole movie. He's gone on to lots and lots of movies. Star Trek, Traffic, Capote, Brothers. He was just recently in Eddington. It's definitely a face that everybody.
No shit. So you're talking about
movies?
Is that
Tack?
That's Tack.
Yeah, who's the most '90s character in this?
You movie. Worm.
He's almost like a combination of Bill, Ted, Beavis, Butthead, and a little bit of, I don't know, like the scumbag character combined with all those.
Man, it's funny to go on to that kind of a career after being like
right.
Tack.
So he was the only one I kind of recognized. Like, I definitely know him. I just had to look up his name. I got thrown off because, fortunately, he changed his name from Clifton Gonzalez to Clifton Collins Jr. So
amazing. Yeah, he is like the fun, like, you love the fact that this guy is he's
the wild card.
Yeah, and like he's just like getting spit on, and he's the one, but he's the one who tells everybody about the chicks. He's like, he should be rewarded for that. Yeah.
The movie does start with a random character wearing a no fat chicks hoodie.
Right.
And he keeps on popping up just to remind the audience where their minds are at.
They basically tell that girl that was the MTV VJ that you're mentioning that like she's fat, and she's not. Like, you know what I mean? She just doesn't look like the other girl. Like, that is this like insanely gorgeous rocker chick who opens the door. But then she's this like kind of like, they dress her up as kind of like a homely, in comparison to this like Tawny Katane character, and it's interesting the way that like this movie just does not hold anything back, calling people fags the whole time. That's what I was saying. It's potentially troublesome in 2025 for a lot of the subject matter.
It's a product of its time for sure.
Product of its time. Yeah.
Yeah. No problem. Yes. What was considered fat, it was pretty extreme back then. You could definitely get away with it. And then, putting the ugly girl, even though it's kind of like, what's that movie with She's All That, where it's just like, she's considered the ugly girl until she takes off her glasses. It's like,
oh, right. Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's like,
he takes off her glasses. That's an amazing movie, man. Right. I just watched I Know What You Did Last Summer the other day with Marianne, and like I had a ball watching that. These 90s films are fucking awesome, 90s into the early thousands, like great shit.
Yeah. I mean, besides the nostalgia factor for us, I mean, it's a lot's aging well. Taylor Negron, he only shows up for one scene. He's the liquor store guy.
Everybody
recognize him because he's in Nothing But Trouble. Why am I forgetting the Fast Times at Ridgemont High? He was a character actor who was always really funny. He just showed up in random stuff throughout the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I wanted to say like that's maybe the most memorable character in this whole movie. Like, he's so good.
Anything with Disco Inferno, one of the best songs of the 70s. So.
And like, I love when they're like trying to get like liquor. They're like, he's like, Joe's like dancing with them, just trying to like be like fit in. And he's like, hey, it's like, what you got to do? You guys got some chicks? You guys got some chicks that you're going, it's like so good. And I wish that scene would go on longer, but that's like the case with most of like movies that you see where they have these like kind of like flamboyant liquor store characters. You only get it for like, maybe 3 minutes and then it's over.
Yeah, liquor store characters were always either like a sage, or like somebody of like wisdom, or somebody of like total understandably like somebody, blocking somebody's night to success. I'm thinking of like Teen Wolf and the old cranky liquor store guy.
I need a keg of beer.
Or conversely, I love the liquor store guy in, as we've already mentioned, Dazed and Confused. Just kind of the chill, lax guy talking to, I forget his name, but when he's trying to buy the beer and he's just talking about like, oh, what are you going to school after high school? He's like, nah, I'm just going to work for a little while, put some money in my pocket. Here's some money for your pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, that's memorable characters throughout in that one. So
yeah, love this guy. And yeah, so you're saying what else was he in? I mean, he's so recognizable. Oh, dude, he was in The Last Boy Scout from 1991.
Taylor?
Yeah.
Taylor, much should go. I mean,
Biodome.
Nothing But Trouble is one that the movie's such trash, but also it's beautiful trash. And he's got a pretty major part in that movie.
I've never seen it, but I remember this. Like, doesn't Dan Aykroyd play like some like old guy or something?
Oh my God. You would have a fucking blast watching.
Really?
I'm not saying it is kind of a dog shit movie for sure, but there is no weirder fucking comedy of the 90s.
I'm looking at this. Yeah.
Just knowing what Dan Aykroyd was trying to do, and then a couple of the roles that Dan Aykroyd plays in there. He plays these morbidly obese twins. Or I forget if he plays one of them, I forget, but there's just a lot of weird prosthetic work in that movie. I can't actually say it's great, but it is an interesting watch for sure. So.
I don't know why I've never seen that. So is that it for the cast? What about the girl who plays the rock and roll girl?
I'm looking at it. Lainey something.
Yeah.
I think I recognize. She looked familiar, but we'll do her and then one.
Oh, Renee Griffin is her name. Looks like she's been in a lot of stuff.
I have Renee Allman on IMDb, and she was in Encino Man, so that's probably what I recognize her face as.
Ah, okay.
The classic Encino Man.
Oh, love that movie. Well, yeah, it doesn't look like in much since, but cool.
I will say right here, according to IMDb, Stone Age has a higher rating than Encino Man. Just comparing it. So.
Really? So that's
for
something
anybody who likes Encino Man, you should go watch the Stone Age.
Here's the thing, like talking to the audience now, you guys, what do you think of this film? I really want to know, have you seen, like, if you're here listening to this, like, it's a pretty, I don't even know if I could call it a cult classic. Like, I don't know if it is a cult style movie. Like, have people caught on to it? I still feel like nobody knows about the film. I mean, it was out of print for so long, and now we watched it on Amazon Prime, right? So it's out there to view and it's out there to watch and stream, but I don't know like what the audience is like for this.
Yep. Like I said, I barely knew about it back in the day, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it lately. Wasn't too much on YouTube. It's only got 4.7 watches on Letterboxd, so not that popular, or at least not that viewed, I should say. So.
Well, if you're here listening to this, it's pretty cool because this was a film that somehow made its way into my life, and just like I said, like Mosquito, that movie, and different films that like they're just so. Like you almost feel kind of alienated that you like them. Like you're kind of like, is there something wrong with me? Like, but no, like
everybody in the world has those obscure movies that they will defend to the end of their lives.
Yeah. Regardless. And like I'm saying in 2025, I'm not necessarily defending this film, but I am saying it was a part of my life, You're
defending the nostalgia for it for sure.
Yes.
Otherwise you wouldn't have picked it. So
no. And like when you were asking about the film that we wanted to watch, like classic, Pat has to bug me on Sunday because he hasn't heard from me in a fucking week. And I'm like, yeah, I could have told you Misery. That's what I was going to pick because it was added to HBO and I watched it for the first time ever. And I'd always heard about it. And Kathy Bates won an Oscar for that film, kind of like put her on the map, if I recall. Also cheesy in its own way, but also cool because it's like a Stephen King adapted movie, right? And I enjoyed it. James Caan, all cool. Something in my mind was like, I know I mentioned the Stone Age, like and I haven't seen it in forever. Let's watch the Stone Age. Again, like you said, it's a kind of like an out there pick for me. You wouldn't think Darren Varel, old movies, old Hollywood, was going to pick the Stone Age, but here we are.
Hey man, you don't have to defend your picks over here, and not by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, yeah. Speaking of, yeah, I finished watching this like an hour ago so that's why research is minimal.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, again, I figured that this film wasn't going to have that much to even like draw up, you know, like I don't think many people are writing about this film. But no. The director, I wanted to say that I thought it was Joe, the guy who plays Joe. His name's James Melkonian. And it says that he's done a lot with, like he's a writer on the Jerky Boys. You remember the Jerky Boys?
I do. I was going to say the only other movie it looks like he directed was the Jerky Boys movie.
Oh, so he directed it as well. Okay. Which I never saw the Jerky Boys movie, but like
the Jerky Boys were not on my radar at all growing up. I shouldn't say on my radar. I knew they existed. I just never heard anything that they had ever done, and I never saw the movie, and then it disappeared from my existence, except for I remember one random joke in Arrested Development about the Jerky Boys. So.
Oh, well, the Jerky Boys was a huge thing in my life. Whenever we would go to the studio, we would play this shit, you know, and like for some reason it was always like, but then I don't think I've ever even seen the movie. So then they made the movie and everything like that. And like,
what kind of Jerky Boys fan are you, dude? Come on.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy because it's like, okay, and this is now too mainstream. The cool thing about it was like the idea that these two guys were pranking people and recording it, and it was so out there, and it's like, you know, you thought you were like kind of in on something kind of dangerous and kind of fun and kind of like, you know, but then all of a sudden it's like a major motion picture. It's like it doesn't really resonate because you're listening to it also with your imagination going, what is it like to call these places and who are these guys anyway? And now there's a movie with the characters. So anyway, yeah.
I do vaguely remember as a child in the 90s that pranking was all the rage. It was very popular to prank.
Did you prank me?
I if I did, it didn't come to fruition. So, or it was very memorable. So,
yeah, maybe it didn't because I'm here doing this podcast with you, and I probably wouldn't had you pranked me back in the day had I known about it.
Prank shows, crank calls. I will say, just on a side note, friend of the show, Don Dillon, did rate this on Letterboxd. So Don, please let us know how you like the Stone.
Did he really?
Yeah. So all I know is that he's seen it. I would like to know his thoughts. So
yeah. So I talked to Don last night. I actually texted him because I was like, dude, like, did you see he's a huge Oasis fan, and we'll talk about it at the end because I went to the Oasis show at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, but I was like, did you go or whatever? And then, you know, he always is like, dude, I'm loving the podcast and everything like that. So, yes, Don, if you're listening, I would love to know your thoughts on this. Like, we probably talked about it back in the day at Suncoast, but like at this point, I don't know. Like, it's kind of it's weird watching it when you're older because you're kind of like, Jesus, how many times is this guy going to call this guy a fag? You know, how many times are they going to talk about just like boning chicks? Like this, it's all what the movie is. And I'm not saying I'm not there for like fun and like, you know, nostalgia from when I was a kid, but like there isn't a lot to grow off of in this, you know, like there's, like you said earlier, there is no like real tooth to this movie, you know?
I mean, in the 90s, you could make a movie entirely about getting laid, and that was enough to justify its existence.
It must have been like the pitch to get this made. And it's not like this movie was like low budget. I mean, probably not high budget, but like they have like crane shots and shit, you know?
In the pitch, they reference everything that we've talked about. Bill and Ted, Beavis and Butthead, Wayne's World, Dazed and Confused. I guarantee they just said all those things and they were like, green light, let's go.
Yeah, because those were all like huge successes, right?
Yeah, love it.
But yeah, maybe this will be a shorter episode because there's not a lot to hang off of for this movie. No, you know, it's like there's this. So I don't know if it's a real beer, but they drink Ox like tall boys.
I was just about to bring it up.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
it was at Ox 45. Kind of like
it's a malt liquor. I was gonna say it's a malt liquor, so it's got to be a nod to it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really reference it other than being the beer that they want to drink.
Yeah.
It's not like they talk about it or anything, or it means anything. My assumption is it was just like, all right, we don't want to like actually like pay for showing real beer, so we're just going to come up with this fake beer
our own
to show.
But it's like everywhere. They're wearing the shirt, you know.
Yeah,
it's like
Tech has the Ox 45 beer shirt, which I'm going to just go on a limb. I bet if you go on eBay right now, there would probably be an Ox 45 beer shirt going for like $200 because it's a collectible from the film. So
I agreed. Like we should check that out because at the same time, like I think that somebody out there has to have like at least designed it based on like what they've seen, so definitely. That they can make some money for like the few people that love this film.
Yeah, I guarantee they were all thrown out at the time, but since this is almost a cult film, I guess it's going for high dollar.
I mean, does this film have a life? You know, does it have a life after 1994?
No clue. Not according to the numbers showing how many people have watched it. So that doesn't mean it won't happen someday. Maybe in 2020, maybe 2026 is the year of the Stone Age.
Well, that's the thing. Like, do these films like this catch fire? And it's like, oh, we should have been paying attention to the Stone Age. This film, you know, it doesn't really feel like it's going to. I don't know. Comedy
movies have been almost non-existent for several years now. So
that's true.
Maybe people are just going back to find the ones that came out in the 90s. Speaking of chicks, I think this movie has the record for the amount of time chicks was said in a movie, I would say. It's like every other.
I mean, at the end it says no chicks were harmed, you know, in the filming of this movie.
Right.
But yeah, I guess if you want to say that, is there any kind of summation of this film? When they're driving, Joe finally lets Hubs know that he's actually into a chick and wants to have a relationship with a chick instead of just boning them. So it kind of, he becomes the good guy of the film at the end.
Wait, which one said that? Joe or Hubs?
I mean, Joe, basically. And Hubs is like, he's like, you're fucking weirding out on me, man. He's like, the idea is to bone him and then you don't have to deal with them later. And he's like, no, man. It's like, I want to find this girl. I want to have a relationship with her. You don't understand.
Yes. Yeah. So there's almost a sweet connection.
Yeah.
Well, no,
that's the thing. That's the only time they're trying to make you feel like there's any kind of depth to this.
Between Joe and Jill, they have like almost a connection and with a couple scenes at their house when they're talking, when Hubs and Lainey are upstairs boning. There's a couple of sweet scenes where they almost have this connection, but then that's like completely thrown away because Jill ends up like hooking up with Hubs.
Which is so bizarre that happens. Also, right. I love the fact that Jill at some point tells Joe that she's got to take a dump. You know,
I did notice that, and that was bold. I like that. But yeah, it was a total like, I mean, because Joe gets turned down for being the nice guy by both the girls, so it's like, it really does kind of just go into like, yeah, of course the nice guy's finished last. Nobody's gonna fuck him. But yes, he has the revelation, and he does get some balls because at the beginning, it's funny because at the beginning, Hubs is like almost like he's like punching Joe like while he's driving.
Yeah,
and it totally reminded me of Fred Renfro and Nick Stahl in Bully. Just a playful version of that darker scene, and it's just like this abusive relationship, much more playful here. But then the flip, Joe gets some balls by the end and ends up punching on Hubs. Hubs is kind of a dick though, but he's pretty funny though. So
yeah, I mean, but he also saves them, you know, like when he's getting
true. That is true.
When the dad or the whatever comes home and he's like breaks the window with, you know, and gets them out. He's like, come on, let's go. Yeah, it is so stupid, but it's like it's amazing, you know.
Yeah. So I guess that would be the lesson that Joe learns, that he gets some balls. And you know he wants a relationship, so that's
what I mean. Well, the tables kind of turn with Hubs and Joe at the end. Yeah,
it's a good moral story. So I'm here for it. So,
like Joe kind of finally, if you want to say, grows a pair at the end and puts him in the headlock at Hubs, and he's like, you know, tell me, say that she's not ugly, man. Say she's not ugly. And so you're kind of like, okay, Joe's grown a pair. He's standing up for himself. Great end of the movie. Credits roll.
An awesome fashion aspect that I missed from the 90s was the flannel shirt tied around the waist.
Totally cool.
Looks awesome.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of dudes wearing it like this, and I definitely remember that.
Also, what was her name? Lanny?
Well, that's the actress name. I forget this character's name.
Yeah, I forget her character's name. But I love like when she's wearing that Blue Oyster cult. It's like almost like vintage looking. That's the thing. Is like, it's got, I love that look. And then also I'm gonna start wearing my leather jacket without a shirt underneath.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's the look.
Yeah. You got to grow that chest hair out, though. Then you're going to be like, pushing it from every angle.
Hubs doesn't have any chest hair, if you noticed.
He's type O negative.
Yeah, exactly.
The chick on the Virgin Killers album is Lainey is her character's name.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So they keep on calling Lainey, saying she looks like the chick on the Virgin Killers album. Is the Virgin Killers a real band?
I don't. Yeah, that's like
is it a made up band?
Let's look it up. The Virgin Killers.
Well, I would assume somebody had taken it since the massive hit of Stoned Age in 1994, when it was taking the world by storm. So,
yeah, there's a movie called Virgin Killers, but there's no.
All right.
Virgin Killers, the fourth studio album by German heavy metal band The Scorpions.
Nice.
Yeah. That's about it. That's about all I see. So, yeah, made up.
And for whatever reason, Frankie Avalon shows up. Even set next to the whole movie's set next to the former home of Frankie Avalon, and Frankie Avalon shows up at the end. And it made me realize that I didn't. So Frankie Avalon has the cameo in Casino, and that's mostly the only thing I know about Frankie Avalon.
But this cameo in this movie is actually, it is bizarre because it's like who got him to, like, somebody must have paid him a lot of money or something, but it is actually kind of an amazing cameo, where he's like, I heard there's a lot of fucking hot chicks over at this party. It's just so good.
For whatever reason, he asks where his own home is at the end. I guess that was the joke, that he didn't know where his former home was. I don't know.
Or is he even supposed to be playing Frankie Avalon, or is it a wink that it is Frankie Avalon, but he's,
Oh, maybe. So he was just playing some rando.
Yeah, exactly. But the audience knows it's Frankie Avalon. Yeah.
Right. All right. I mean, either way, you got two great cameos in 94 and 95 with Casino. So it's like he's crushing it then.
It's one's with Scorsese and one's in this great movie here today.
I like that their car kind of looked like the Twisted Metal car.
That must be a gamer thing, huh?
Twisted Metal was a great game. It's actually got a new show out that I watched the first season of, and I'm here for it. It's a TV show that I've actually watched, which is rare. So
a lot of these games actually have TV shows. Like Fallout is a TV show.
That is true. Yeah. Well, but Twisted Metal and Twisted Metal 2 was a game I was obsessed with in sixth grade, so I had to revisit it.
Sixth grade? Wow, that's that old?
The first one came out in like 95.
Wow.
It's an old school game. And the show's pretty deep. Nev Campbell, she's the big bad in the show. Thomas Hated Church, is a bad guy in it.
Wow.
Good at it. And they really lean into the 90s nostalgia for when the games come out. So there's like a lot of great songs, deep cut 90s songs that they use in it. So it's been pretty fun watching. So.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I didn't know about it. Yeah, I know they've been making a lot out of video games lately. It must be, built-in audience there. Plus the worlds are like so built up. It's kind of par for the course,
I mean, it's everything. It's all the shit that you and I loved growing up. We're now adults with disposable incomes and no kids. So
speak for yourself. I mean, I don't have any kids, but
I was going to say, did you start a family without including me on that?
Yeah, no. But yeah, I don't know, this film for me is nostalgia. It is like a dip back into like a time when, I was serious about it. Half the thing is that I couldn't get this and watch it for so long that it grew, like the lore of it grew in my mind, So when you finally got it again, it was like, oh my God, like this film. And it kind of, the legend of the film kind of grows when you're not able to see it. And you couldn't stream anything back then or buy it or rent it or whatever, So it was just like, a hard to get item, and I'm really interested if anybody else has the same kind of story or feeling about this film out there.
Well, I forget. Did you say you did special order it at Suncoast, or you wanted to?
I did.
Okay. You filled out the special order card that we had.
Yes,
I vividly remember.
It was more through the computer. You could like type in whatever the database was, and then you could order it straight up through the computer. And I did it all the time, and I would pay for it, and then it would just go out of stock or back ordered or whatever and come back until one day I finally got it. I remember opening up the box when it came in. I was like, holy shit, here it is. It was like, like the thing in Pulp Fiction when you open it up and it's like glowing. You're like, oh, holy shit,
Yeah, you had to search for the movies you loved back in the day. And it was always we got so many random requests. I mean, I remember looking for certain movies and having to special order them for sure. So
yeah, we all did.
The hunt was real. It's not like a single click now. So unfortunately,
yeah.
And that was the most old man take I've had it for a while. So
well, let's move out of Stoned Age because I feel like we're going to exhaust everything we've got to say about it, unless you have anything else.
Great cameo by Jake Busey playing a douchey house partier.
Yeah, he tried to score with the chicks, and he's maybe one of the only ones who did fail with that chick. It's kind of funny, but yeah, great cameo. Love Jake Busey and the Flatliners, which we have to cover that one day.
He's in Flatliners? I do not remember.
Yeah, he plays like one of the ghosts, if I believe, if I'm right. Yeah.
No, are you talking?
Oh, not Flatliners. I'm sorry. Frighteners. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah.
I was gonna say. I mean, I haven't seen Flatliners since back in the day, so maybe he wasn't.
That was like the classic film with like Julia Roberts and the love triangle, wasn't it? Like with her.
I don't remember. I just know they kill themselves for a rush or whatever.
Oh,
I don't remember what the plot was, but they stopped their lives.
Is it a Halloween watch on Remainders? Maybe,
Their lines went flat. I don't think it's very good, but it might be. So might be a fun rewatch. So
you don't judge a book by its cover until I recommend it as our watch for next episode.
I've seen it. I just don't remember it. So
all right, I'm just kidding you. Well, thanks for indulging me on the Stoned Age. And
sure.
Yeah. I knew once I said that maybe you had seen it. And then I was like, if you haven't seen it, you're probably going to be pissed off and like disappointed. So did you like it at least? Did you,
I could have fun talking about any movie, no matter what. And if I hated it, I can always have fun busting your balls for liking it. So
yeah, I think both of us are lukewarm on this film though. It's not.
Yeah. There's no bad situation where we're talking about a movie and I'm not going to have a good time. But no, yeah, this is, a relic of its time. I don't think it's remembered partly for a good reason, but there's a lot of good stuff in it. So I'll say
that. So okay. Well said. Looking forward to all the comments for people who have seen it. Let's move on.
There's definitely going to be people with nostalgia commenting. I guarantee.
I mean, people might be pissed off at us and being like, "Dude, why didn't you mention this or whatever and that?" It's like, well, I don't know. Like
we're just a couple dummies. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, my next pick will be better, I promise. Moving on to what I've been up to. I went to the Oasis show at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
they played Soldier not that long ago. I didn't get to go though.
Oh, Soldier Field, that's right. Yeah, in Chicago. Yeah. That was probably a couple stops before LA. They had 2 nights in LA. I went to night 1. Not the hugest, I love Oasis, they're great, but not like I would have gone, but I got free tickets, which is crazy because it was sold out both days. And I got 2 free tickets, one for me and one for my girlfriend. And we're like, we got to go. Like, this is a pretty big event. And then ended up like being one of those shows where it's like fucking life-changing. They were so good. Liam's singing was like insane how good he was singing. And the songs were great. Like they do have a few tunes that like I'm not super familiar with, but even those were great. The one problem with the show, if you want to ask me what I didn't like, was like all the bullshit behind them and all the like the graphics and stuff was fucking terrible in my opinion. I was like, I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was cool. And I think like now when you go to a concert, especially one that big, like the Rose Bowl is huge. Took us 2 hours to get into the Rose Bowl. Took us 2 hours to get home from the Rose Bowl. There's so many people. You have to be bussed into it and then bust out of it. There's like memes going around being like, I survived Oasis on the tram trolley, like, in 2025. But anyway, long story short, it was an amazing show. And they just have these graphics that they were doing during songs that I didn't think was necessary. But I think these days when people go to see a show, they need the theatrics. They need some other like visual shit other than the songs. And whenever they would show like the band and it would just be like all four of them on like big screens, I was like, oh man, I love this. I love seeing them play and stuff like that. But we were pretty far away. And, the only time I've ever seen like graphics like that work really well was when I saw Paul McCartney in 2011 at Wrigley Field, and it was just like so perfectly done. But anyway, like at one point Liam Gallagher was like in a field, and like the graphics was really fucking weird. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's talking about the graphics as much as I am, but that's what I've been up to.
Were there any sibling shenanigans?
Nothing. No, it was great. It was perfect. They played it so well. They played it up to like all these years hating each other. And I know that had to have been an act just so that when they did do this, it would be like the most sold out show ever. And they make a fuck ton of money because they came out there hand in hand, hugging each other. And it was perfect. Everybody wanted to see that, they played everyone like a fiddle and it was perfect.
Yeah. Like your boys playing the long game, apparently.
Yeah.
So love that. I mean, have you ever? You said it was at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Yes, and I had never been there either. Yeah, is that what you're about to ask? Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like you said, it was like 2 hours in, 2 hours out, and it became a meme. Was it just because of that show for whatever reason? I can't imagine that. Like, if you just went to like a football game, would it always be that shitty?
Maybe, yeah. Because I mean, I think the thing is, it's like it's in Pasadena, and it's in like kind of like the downtown area.
Yeah.
And there's no parking on site. Or there is on site, but like it's not as much as it can handle at the Rose Bowl. So there's off-site parking, and that's where we parked. So there's like 3 structures for that, and it's huge. It's really big. I did go to the Rose Bowl one time for a flea market. They have a flea market there, and that's when I sent you that someone was selling Babe Pig in the Cities poster, if you remember that.
Shit. Rose Bowl just justified itself for me for that. So.
Yeah.
I mean, Soldier Field gets pretty packed. I've only been there for concerts, but it's usually, I hear it basically gets like clustered because most people are walking.
Not for long because they're headed to Arlington Heights,
That seems bananas. Like
yeah,
I don't follow that at all, but it seems crazy that the Chicago team like that is going to Arlington Heights. So.
It's got to be all about money, I'm sure. It's got to be expensive for like anybody to be in a city. I bet you they go to Arlington Heights and they probably like cut the cost. Plus, like, who's gonna go and fucking see the Bears anyway? Come on, Jesus, you guys got to win every once in a while.
I'm assuming they've lost. I'm showing my ignorance on sports right now. So.
Yeah,
they've been losing. All right, fair enough. So.
I know you don't care about sports.
No, I love sports. I haven't watched the Bears in years. So.
Well, saving you a lot of grief then.
Sports fans that are listening right now. So, I want to know about that Cobra Starship guitar that you just made.
Oh yeah, so I actually did 2 guitars.
Oh, nice.
So, and then I want to hear about Riot Fest because you usually go every year, and that's what they're for.
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah. So this, I 2 weeks ago or something, I got a call about like doing a guitar for Cobra Starship, and it's just for a auction, like in collaboration with Fender guitars and also Punk Rock and Paintbrushes, which I've been doing a lot with. This one right here was for when we were young in 2023. And yeah, so like all the bands like agreed to sign the guitars that the artists will do, and then they auction them off for various charities, like NPR is one of them, Special Olympics, and a few others that I'd have to look up, but I can't remember right now. And I was like, yeah, like sign me up. But of course, there's like no time to do any of this. It was like last minute stuff. So this is actually a great story. I get the Cobra Starship job, I do it, and I had to like look up online. There's not like a lot of great like tutorials on how to do guitars. I've done a guitar before, but it was like with a special kind of paint that was like almost like the paint that you use on a car. So like it doesn't chip off, and it's like really, really permanent. It's almost like a glossy lacquer that's just like adheres to it. And I have never done it where you have to sand down the guitar. Mm-hmm. So I learned how to do it pretty quickly. You just have to sand down like the gloss, and then you put like a gesso primer on the top, wait for that to dry, and then paint your design on there. And you can do it with acrylic then, because you've done all that work. And then you seal coat it with like a glossy or a matte varnish on top. So it's actually not that big of a process. I mean, sanding it down is maybe the most annoying part. But then this Monday, I got a call that Jack White wanted to be included at the Riot Fest. He's playing day 2 of Riot Fest. Yeah.
Yep.
I just got that job on Monday. I went it had to be overnighted today. So I had to go to Guitar Center on Monday and pick up a guitar, come back. I spent 24 hours painting, sanding, doing everything I just did for that Cobra Starship thing for Jack White's guitar. Dude, a lot of work. It turned out really fucking great, though. I'm really proud of it. I just shipped it overnight air to Elmhurst today, and it's going to be part of the auction. So I got 2 guitars in it, one of them for Cobra Starship and one of them for Jack White, and I'm so pumped. I hope there's like a picture of them, like him holding it or something like that. It would like blow my fucking mind, because that guy is one of the fucking best guitar players that has ever existed. You know, like to paint a guitar for that guy, you know, is pretty monumental. And I hope that they raise a ton of money, you know, for these charities that or they're not necessarily charities, but you get it, like, you know, for like NPR and stuff like that. Like, it's really, really great organizations and Special Olympics. So if you're there and you see Punk Rock and Paintbrushes, maybe stop by and see if you can see the guitars.
I was going to say, so these will be at the show and available to view.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
yeah. So their whole booth, you know, like the Punk Rock and Paintbrushes booth. I don't know if you stopped by there any of the other years, but yeah. So I had a piece in there last year for NoFX, because it was NoFX's last thing. But this year, I got 2 guitars. I'm really hoping that people are going to post pictures of them and stuff, because it's just cool for me, because I can't be there to like have that art in there. So are you going all 3 days? Or I know, you know, it's tough these days. Like, you never know what the weather is going to be and everything.
Tough these days. I'm just too fucking lazy. I can do it. I'm just not going to do it. So
yeah,
I can't do a 3-day festival on my feet anymore. I don't know. It's I'm sounding very lazy, and that's probably the truth. So
no, I don't blame you.
I'm looking forward to Saturday the most. Just gonna have some fun watching Guar, Bouncing Souls, Marky Ramone, Beach Boys, Buzzcock. I'll probably watch Jack White now with that, and Weezer. So
awesome. Yeah,
good, nice little run. The Damned is playing at the same time with Weezer, so that's a little unfortunate, but I would like to see both of them. But
Weezer is kind of like
choices.
Weezer is kind of like, you could kind of see, like, I hate to say it, and I don't want to like jinx it, but they play all the time. So it's like, I don't know how many times the Damned play.
That's true. I actually could go see the Damned right after we finish this. They're playing right down the street at the Vic, and they're starting like later, so I could totally go see the Damned now after we close up right now. So it's a possibility if I feel spontaneous when we finish up. The Weezer, I've never seen Weezer. They're playing the Blue Album. The Blue Album was one of like the first tapes that I ever bought myself, so I got nostalgia for that album.
Talk about 1994. I'm pretty sure that album came out in 94.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, so it'll be good, nice little. I mean, I love Riot Fest, everything they do, so it's always a fun time. But yeah, can't do 3 days anymore.
You know, make sure you stop by and see Dan and Lindsay if they're walking around.
Yeah, they always got the little one there too, right?
Yeah, they got their little kid there now.
I mean, that's what I love about Riot Fest, is that it's mostly, you know, older people who just want to chill. Nobody's like getting too aggressive at these shows.
It is that fan base for sure. Yeah.
Right. Everybody likes the metal and the punk, but nobody wants to like get too insane with the shows or anything. So
yeah, I just heard I'm going to go to When We Were Young this year. The Plain White T's are playing, and I told him, I'm like, dude, if I don't get like that super bro pass, I am not standing in the Las Vegas heat all day long. So I
think that was one of the reasons why I cut it short last year. I got there and I was like, this is too fucking hot. That's right. Weren't you there? And we just didn't hook up.
We missed each other. Yeah.
I was like, this sun is kicking my ass. I'm getting out of here. So.
Yeah. I understood, with your Irish blood.
Oh, can't do it.
Anything else going down? What's up?
Yeah, everything's good. No, just been working hard. Just looking forward to this. Getting the last, squeezing the last juice of summer. Going to the lake every day. So,
oh, great!
Ready for it to be cool. Yeah,
ready
for fall. 93 days until Avatar 3. So counting down to that. It's only 2 digits. It's no longer 3 digits until. So it's coming up fast. So
wow, yeah.
And yeah, also, I mean, I didn't comment on it, but you mentioned Robert Redford at the beginning.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of Robert Redford movies I've never seen. I need to actually catch up with.
It is when you look at the filmography, it's true.
Yeah, I like looking at a lot of the ones that people like really loved from him. I'm like, I haven't seen a good amount of it. I've seen the big. I mean, I love All the President's Men, Butch Cassidy for sure, The Sting. I've never seen Sneakers, The Natural, or 3 Days of the Condor. I kept on seeing all those pop up, and I have never seen any of those. So,
have you seen his Gatsby?
No.
Yeah, that's pretty great. That's like one of my favorites of his. But yeah, even like The Natural and stuff like that. I know I've seen it. I just can't even like really recall. Well, I was probably really little when I saw it, But what I really meant what I said about his directing. Like nobody talks about The Legend of Bagger Vance, but it has like a really great feeling to that movie. And it kind of has the same feeling that I'm talking about with A River Runs Through It. Have you seen either of those films?
Bagger Vance, I did not see. The River Runs Through It. I saw it as a kid. I don't remember much of it. I remember watching that on HBO probably when I was like 8 or 9. So
how about Ordinary People? Had you seen that?
I've seen Ordinary People. I do like that.
Yeah, that's definitely like
Quiz
harder.
Show.
Yeah, Quiz Show. Yeah,
I totally forgot he directed Quiz Show. Quiz Show rules.
Yeah.
I do remember liking that one a lot.
But also just kind of knowing. Sorry, go ahead.
A late one that a lot of people I saw in theaters. All Is Lost from 2013. It's like his Old Man and the Sea kind of movie. I remember liking that one quite a bit.
Oh yeah, what year was that?
I think 2013. So it was just a later career movie.
Okay. Yeah, I think people have been talking about it from what I've seen online.
Our Man is his title, but I remember enjoying that one quite a bit.
Quiz Show, by the way, from the year of this film that we're talking about, 1994. And
then another one, much later one, only pretty recent, Old Man and the Gun. I remember enjoying that one. That was David Lowery directed, him and Casey Affleck. I remember enjoying that one quite a bit. So he was kicking ass his entire life. So
yeah, and I mean, of course, it has to be said when you talk about him, Sundance is all that's him. That whole festival is all him. He created that. Like the reason we have Tarantino, from what I understand, is that Pulp Fiction played at Sundance and just was like huge hit. So yeah,
total legend.
And Decent Proposal.
That's right. 90s movies were so fun. They just had.
I'll give you $50,000 for one night with your wife.
All right, we got this movie. This guy is going to offer somebody to fuck a guy's wife. Boom, let's go.
But the guy is going to be Robert Redford. Okay, let's do it.
As long as there's a woman on the bed covered in money, which was an image that was just running through the 90s, which I love because of that. So,
yeah. Well, we'll have to watch that one, and also like maybe we'll do a double feature of that and Nothing But Trouble.
I mean, Demi Moore in both. So
really? Oh, Demi Moore's in Nothing But Trouble. Oh, well, there's the through line. There you go.
Demi Moore double feature. She would probably want us to watch other movies, but those are the ones we're going with. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Song of the week. What do you think? You ready for it?
What I've been listening to. I have not been listening to anything new. I've been enjoying a lot of David Lynch vibes. Not necessarily David Lynch music or movie music from his scores or anything, or his own music, but a couple playlists. I've been loving to deep dive. Like Spotify has a couple good ones, just David Lynch vibes. So anything that even sounds remotely on a vibe of David Lynch. And so a nice song that I've heard recently that I really enjoyed, and I really wasn't too familiar. Smog, the artist, which is a moniker of Bill Callahan, the pioneer of lo-fi in the late 80s and 90s. Kind of on my radar. I knew the name Bill Callahan and Smog, didn't even realize they were the same person. Slowcore, basically. Not like noirish like you would hear in a David Lynch movie, but kind of the more slowcore, kind of sultry, sad vibes that you would see in one of his movies. And the song Our Anniversary from Smog's album Supper in 2003 has just got this nice, chill, kind of comforting vibe that I just really responded to when hearing it this week. So that's the one I'm going with. Our Anniversary by Smog. Very very cozy song, I'll say. It's the best way to put it. So,
well, for me, it's not like a song that I love, but it's a song everybody knows.
Way to sell it, Darren.
Well, I'm saying this because it's a song that's important to this film. Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult.
Okay.
We have to, right?
You're right. We didn't mention Blue Oyster Cult and Joe's love of them very much. So,
and getting hit by there's some storyline in here about him getting hit by a tractor beam that changed his life, but we don't really know how.
It didn't make any sense, but I did like the uniqueness of it. So
yes, yeah. So, and I mean, yeah, Blue Oyster Cult is like painted on the car. The girl's wearing the Blue Oyster Cult shirt. Joe's favorite band. So how could we not have Don't Fear the Reaper as the song on our jukebox playlist today?
Beautiful. Obviously, immortal song for sure. I often hear Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult because that's a song used in the Godzilla pinball machine at Logan Arcade. So,
amazing!
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for listening to our episode on the Stone Age, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that love this movie. We definitely enjoy it, and we would love to hear your comments about it. Let us know your thoughts, and we'll be back with something probably out of Patrick's insane mind in 2 weeks that I can't wait to talk about then.
Will we be... we'll be officially in October. So
yeah, I think so. I was going to say, we got to do horror movies from now on, right?
We got 3 movies. I mean... I've got some thoughts. I'll text you, but we got 3 movies in the month of October, as long as we stick to our schedule, finishing on the 29th. So I think we can come up with some pretty exciting ones that we've talked about in the past, and then maybe a deep cut. So
into it.
We'll find out. So either way, we love our horror, so it's going to be a good time.
Well, hey, enjoy Riot Fest if you go. And yeah. Good to see you, man. As always, everybody take care out there until we see you again.
See you, brother.
See ya.